If you're someone who has a Libra as your sun sign, you probably see yourself in some of these qualities. Libras are often described as charming, diplomatic, and deeply committed to fairness. You're the peacemakers, the ones who can see all sides of the situation, sometimes to your own frustration because that famous Libra indecision is real. You're likely drawn to beauty in all forms, art, fashion, design, and music. Hi, I'm Ashleigh, and welcome to the Big Crystal Energy Podcast. This is a place for the crystal curious, arcane-minded, and everything in the in-between. In this podcast, we will jump down the rabbit hole into the metaphysical, esoteric, occult, and spiritual realms. Nothing is off limits. I'm a mom, wife, and orthopedic physician assistant by day, and a seeker of all things spooky and kooky by night. I've spent my entire career in the medical field and have always felt like there's more out there, and this is where we will explore together. We will have conversations with crystal healers, rock counts, artists, musicians, spiritual coaches, magic makers, and anything woo-woo that strikes our fancy. Let's take our spiritual journey to the next level. So grab a crystal, pour a cup of tea. It's time to feel the big crystal energy. Welcome back to Big Crystal Energy. I am Ashleigh, and welcome to another installment of my Season of the Witch series. Today, we're stepping into the energy of Libra season, the sign of scales, the seeker of balance, harmony, and beauty. This is the season of the autumn equinox, where day and night meet in equal measure, a hinge point in the wheel of the year where the veil begins to thin and the shadows slowly grow longer. It's a time that reminds us not only of fairness and justice, but also of the balance between the seen and unseen, the light and the dark, the perfect prelude to Samhain and the Witch's New Year. Hello, my lovely friends. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you may notice something different about me. I am not wearing black. I'm wearing the softer colors of Libra season, and I have this incredibly gorgeous piece of jewelry that I bought from a store called The Cauldron Black in Salem. It is a scarab beetle with a beautiful piece of labradorite in the center, and I'm just going for a little bit softer, more muted tone today. Now, if you hear someone in the background or you hear some little noises in the background, that will be because my son Jasper is here at my feet, and he wants to be part of the action. I told him no interrupting mommy while I am podcasting, so he has promised me that he will not be interrupting me, but he's chilling on the floor next to me. So if you hear some little sounds, that's my little buddy. But yes, so wow. Okay, guys, let's just start with this. How are you doing? How was eclipse season for you? Holy smokes, it totally kicked my ass. Totally kicked my ass, especially last week. I got back from Salem on a Wednesday. Then my mom came out from Nebraska on the following Saturday. Just a couple days later, after I came back from the retreat, I felt like I had no time to get home, process, because I came home from the retreat. I immediately jumped right back into the work week. Then my mom visited from Nebraska. She was here all week. Like, I just felt so dysregulated the whole week just because, you know how it is. Like, you have another person in your house and things are just naturally different. I just felt like just sort of out of sorts. And then I was like, you know what? It's eclipse season. Everything just felt heavy. I felt like I just couldn't do the things that I normally would want to do and that I would feel compelled to do. And it just felt like, so I don't know. I know that the other women that I've been really connecting with from my retreat, they've all been feeling the same way. It's just been a wild time, friends, a wild time. But as I record this, I am recording on a new moon. Eclipse season is almost over. I feel it today. I dropped my mom off at the airport this morning. I came home. I just was like, I just got to clear out this like stagnant energy that's in my house. I totally cleaned like my downstairs altar space. I cleaned that off. I put up my new 1907 Ouija board. I put up some cute little Halloween decorations. I refreshed my Ancestor altar area, and it just felt really good to I got a bunch of prints from my travels over the past year. I got them framed. Now I just need to get them up on the wall. So all of that stuff just felt so good. And then now I'm recording my podcast. It just feels like, I feel like a shift, right? I feel like I'm shifting back into myself, and that is just, oh my gosh, feels amazing. So today we're going to be talking about Libra season. My best friend from way back in the day, shout out to Anna. You guys have heard me probably shout her out before because her and I have been friends since 7th grade. And let me just tell you a little bit of a story about my friend Anna. Okay. My grandparents built a house out in the country outside of this town called Fremont, Nebraska. Okay. Small town, Nebraska. And my mom and I were living with my grandparents at the time. And my mom found out through her friend at work that they also lived out in the country and they only lived about a mile away from my grandparents' house. And my mom's coworker said that she had a daughter that was also in 7th grade. And so Anna and I met, and like, it was just one of those friendships where we just hit it off from day one. So basically from 7th grade all through high school, the two of us were inseparable. But then she went to college. She went to college in Nebraska, and I moved to Kansas for college. So, of course, our relationship, we were still friends, but things are not, we could email. It was hard to call. You remember back in the day, like early 2000s, you would have to get calling cards. We would have to get calling cards and all the things. So we would just stay in touch through email. We didn't have social media back then, or we couldn't just like text each other on our phones or any of that. So, that was the only way that we could stay in touch. But over the years, we have just stayed in touch. We have stayed such good friends. She has been so supportive of me on my podcasting journey. She truly shares a love of all these similar things with me as well. She's like totally into the woo now with the crystals and all of the things. So that's super fun. And her daughter too, who's also beautiful. Shout out to Caitlin. She's a doll. And it's just been so fun. Like our friendship, we have been friends for such a long time, and we have seen each other evolve so much over the years. And I just truly appreciate that she has been along for this wild ride that I've been on, especially over the past several years, and has just always been like very supportive of me. And I just always want her to know that I'm always going to be very supportive of her as well. So she is a Libra. Her birthday is coming up on October 3rd. So right around the corner, my dear friend Anna, happy birthday early. But so I'm going to dedicate this episode to her because she is the biggest, most influential, probably Libra in my world. So I love you, Anna. And this episode is for you. Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of love, beauty, art, and connection. Anna is a person who very much loves music. She is my music girly. This weekend, she was sending me all of these songs that she loves from Spotify. She's trying to get me to be a big Machine Gun Kelly fan. And so I'm like, I never really listened to him. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm all about new music. So she's always been my music girly. We always went to concerts together. Like that was our thing from back in the day. We always went to concerts together. We would have these special like shirts from Goodwill that we would always wear to concerts. And so when I think of her, I just always think of music, having fun, hanging out. So Libra is also an air sign. It's all about communication, ideas, mental clarity are emphasized. Libra is a cardinal sign, here to initiate, but initiate in the name of balance and relationship. So some of the Libra correspondences are the colors, soft pink, which I have on right now, pastel blue, which is Anna all the way. She always loved a light blue color, rose, like rose color, green, touches of gold. So that's what I'm trying to channel with my vibe here, my outfit. Animals are swans, doves, butterflies. Herbs and plants, we have roses, thyme, yarrow, and apples. And it's a seasonal tie. It's tied to the autumn equinox, also known in the Witch's Wheel of the Year, Mabon, the harvest of balance and gratitude. This is a time to seek harmony, not only in our outer world, but in our inner selves, especially as the darker half of the year approaches. And my sweet friend, she has always been a fall girly. So she always loved the fall and still does. And I do too. I'm a fall girly as well. So that's just something that we also share. So now if you're someone who has a Libra as your sun sign, you probably see yourself in some of these qualities. Libras are often described as charming, diplomatic, and deeply committed to fairness. You're the peacemakers, the ones who can see all sides of the situation, sometimes to your own frustration because that famous Libra indecision is real. You're likely drawn to beauty in all forms, art, fashion, design, and music, anything that creates harmony around you. People might describe you as social, graceful, and magnetic, but also someone who craves balance in relationships and can feel unsettled when things tip too far out of harmony. At your best, you embody equality, justice, and connection. At your trickiest, you might wrestle with indecision, people-pleasing, or avoiding conflict. But at your core, you're here to show us the power of living life as both an art and as an act of balance. So for Libra season, the tarot tie-in is twofold. Number one, the Justice card. card. Now, I am using the Modern Witch Tarot deck. So in this card, we have, it looks like a woman. She's just sitting on a bench. She's got this beautiful red jacket on. She's holding a sword, and then she's also holding the scales. She also has kind of a serious face, but her hair has these tips of purple. So she also is kind of embracing that beauty. And she has like this just very powerful, commanding presence. So with the Justice card, she sits confidently between two pillars. Her sword is upright, the scales in her left hand. Her gaze is direct and unflinching, reminding us that truth is not always comfortable, but it is always necessary. This card is a mirror of Libra's energy, weighing choices, striving for fairness, and calling us into accountability. Hey, sorry to interrupt, but I have something you need to hear. Have you been feeling a shift? A pull towards something more? Whether you're manifesting new opportunities, confidence, or a major glow up, the universe is listening, and I've got just the thing. In a crystal clarity call, I'll intuitively select 3 crystals to support your manifestations, pull a tarot or oracle card for deeper guidance, and craft custom journal prompts to help you take action. It's more than a reading, it's an energetic roadmap. So if you're ready to align with your highest self, DM me on Instagram at mystical.mama.ash for details and pricing. Let's bring your magic to life. Now, we can also talk about the Empress, since Libra is ruled by Venus. In this deck, she radiates abundance and creative power, a reminder to bring beauty, pleasure, and harmony into your rituals in this season. She is just like this very glamorous woman. She's got all of her jewelry on. She is sitting confidently on this very like luxurious chair. She appears to have like a very comfortable pillow behind her. And I don't know what these are supposed to be in the background. I don't know if theirs are supposed to be like crystals or shards of ice. I'm not quite sure, but she just has like this very like commanding, like, hello, and I'm here energy. So together, Justice and Empress show us the two faces of Libra: balance and beauty, reason and heart, fairness and love. So when working with Libra energy, I recommend these following crystals. Lapis lazuli. Here is my lapis. I have this lapis sphere. It's blue. It's got these gold kind of flecks throughout of it. It's for truth, wisdom, and balancing relationships. Okay. You don't need a big sphere. I also have this little doubled piece of lapis, which is really beautiful as well. Oh, I got a little buddy here that's saying that he needs something from me. Okay. You can also work with rose quartz. Let's see. Since we're getting into spooky season, I have a rose quartz carved skull. It's for self-love, compassion, and harmony in partnerships. Blue kyanite. I have a piece of blue kyanite somewhere. It's more of a fragile stone, so I don't usually connect with it as much, just because in my house, anything that's fragile just feels a little bit tricky for me. I do have a piece of blue kyanite somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So blue kyanite is for clear, balanced communication and energetic realignment. I also have a couple pieces of opal here. Opal has always been a favorite of mine. It's also the October birthstone. So I have this little tiny piece of opal. It doesn't really show up very good in this light. And then I have a couple pieces of opal in this one as well. It's shimmering with Libra's artistry and intuitive gifts. I feel like there's something about the flash and the sparkle of the opal that is very reminiscent to me, that similarly that you see inside of labradorite and moonstone. So it carries that very like intuitive psychic energy, which I just love. And then also we have fluorite. I have a piece of fluorite here, a piece of green fluorite, which is for decision making, clarity, and dissolving the fog of indecision. These stones are beautiful allies when the Libra urge for fairness can turn into a spiral of what ifs. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys about a section from this book called Intention Obsession by Erica Feldman. She is the owner of probably one of my top favorite stores in Salem called House Witch, which I talk about that shop all the time because I'm literally obsessed. But this book, it's so beautiful. And in this, she has a section. This book is all about the different zodiac signs. And so in her Libra section, she has something called Indecision Divination. And speaking of indecision, Libras are famous for their commitment to fairness and the subsequent confusion that can breed. In her book, Intention Obsession, Erica Feldman has a wonderful section called Indecision Divination, where she suggests working with a pendulum to find clarity in moments of uncertainty. So I'm just going to open up the book and I'm going to read a little bit. I'm just going to read some from the book. Now, I don't know if you've ever worked with a pendulum before. I have a pendulum here. So if you're watching my YouTube, you can see what this pendulum is. This particular pendulum that I chose has the tree of life as a little charm on the top, and then it's made out of lapis lazuli, which I thought was perfect because that's one of the stones that I recommended for this season. So I'm going to read a little bit about pendulums from Intention Obsession, and then I'm also going to talk, and then she also has a little section about how to use them. And I figured it's laid out really well here in this book, so I'll just read it to you. It said that the use of pendulums or dowsing goes as far back as the Oracle of Delphi in Greece more than 3,000 years ago. Some think pendulums work with the higher self and intuition and provide answers through the ideomotor phenomenon, whereby a person makes motions unconsciously in accordance with their unseen wisdom or desire. Others believe the guidance to be otherworldly in nature, coming from spirit. I'm sure it's a combo of both. Whether you feel like a guidance received by using a pendulum comes from your own mind or from divine intervention, the simplicity of the method makes it worth a try. In my opinion, pendulums work best with yes or no questions. If you don't have a pendulum, all you need is an object called the bob that dangles at the end of a chain or string. Obviously, there are myriad pendulums you can purchase, but a necklace works just as well. In fact, if the necklace or pendant is meaningful to you, it may provide more accurate responses. If you decide to purchase a pendulum, clear it in some sun or moonbeams and charge it with your energy for a few days before working with it. Okay, so these are the steps. Number 1, once you're ready to ask your question, sit at a table or other flat surface, ground and center yourself. Number 2, establish which motion will mean no and which will mean yes. For example, if the pendulum swings in a linear back and forth motion, it will stand for yes. If it moves in a circular motion, it will mean no. Number 3, drop into a light meditative state while focusing on your question. Number 4, hold the end of the string or chain as still as possible in your dominant hand and rest your elbow on the table. The bob should be an inch or two above the surface. Number 5, once the pendulum is completely still, ask your question out loud in your mind and release the bob, keeping it as still as possible. Number 6, after a few seconds, the pendulum should start moving. Once it's in full swing, read what it's telling you. Is it what you hope to hear? If you want to deepen this practice, there are more complex ways of working with pendulums using charts, grids, and spirit boards. So that's just a basic way of using a pendulum. If you have any other questions about pendulum use, you can always reach out to me. I just thought her explanation in this book was really simple, and pendulums are really cool for picking between like 2 cards or 2 stones or 2 of anything, really. And you just have to decide what motion is going to indicate what outcome. Okay. And then just stick with it. So I kind of just enjoyed that. So this practice is such a powerful witchy tool for Libra season, bridging divination with decision making and turning the anxiety of indecision into a magical act of clarity. So for those of us that sometimes have a hard time making a decision between one or the other thing, using a pendulum, basically you just hold your arm flat, you hold the pendulum up, you hold it still, you ask your question, then you let go and you see, is it going to go back and forth or is it going to go around? And then go from there. So as we lean deeper into autumn, Libra season is a reminder to prepare our altars, honor the ancestors, and reflect on what balance means in our lives before we step into the shadow months. You might want to begin crafting an ancestor altar, slowly layering items of beauty and memory. I was working on that today. Practice glamour magic, another Venusian art where the way you adorn yourself becomes spell work. Truth be told, glamour magic is something I definitely want to start getting into. Or work with air magic, smoke cleansing, wind chimes, or feather rituals to call in harmony. I am a big smoke cleansing girly. I love incense. I love different types of smoke cleansing, Palo Santo, whatever it may be. Libra season is about weaving beauty into balance, creating rituals that don't just look magical, but feel magical. So here are some journal prompts. To deepen your work with this season, here are a few prompts you can take to your journal, altar, or meditation space. So I'm going to read the prompts here, but then I will also make a post on my Instagram that also has the prompts. So if you're not able to write them down fast enough, you'll be able to see these prompts after this episode comes out. Number 1, where in my life do I feel most out of balance? and what small shifts could restore harmony? Number 2, what truth have I been avoiding, and what would it look like to face it with fairness and compassion? Number 3, how do I define beauty in my own life, and how can I invite more of it into my daily rituals? Number 4, where am I people-pleasing instead of honoring my authentic self? Number 5, how can I honor both my light and shadow as we move toward the thinning of the veil? Take your time with these. They're meant to help you embody Libra's energy beyond the theory and to use the season as a mirror for your own magic. Now, I was setting up this little Libra season altar on my desk, which I took a picture of. It's just really cute. I have a book that I got from Salem. I have the crystals that I was just showing you all. I was also looking at, I don't know, I just had like a bunch of stuff here that I was looking at. So sorry, I just got distracted like I always do. Anyway, I was going through all this stuff in one of my drawers, and I found this adorable little thing called Spooky Poems for the Spooky Season, this tiny little box. And I pulled out this, it's called A Magic Witch Poem Book for Eowyn. I don't know. Anyway, it's so tiny and cute. I was going to read you the little poem. And I'm going to be reading these little poems during my upcoming episodes. There's just like, let's see, in this box, there was 1, 2, 3, like I think 4 little poems. So they're very tiny, but they're really cute. Okay, A Magic Witch Poem Book. There was an affable witch in Old Salem town who held grand fire ceremonies and had scrolls laying around. And she knew the names of each flower, each herb, and each tree, and each she would use when making her tea. But I was never afraid of her ways, odd and queer. She gave me the potion that made this poem right here. This is by Kevin Devaney, October 2020. So I thought that was really cute. So, as the scales of Libra season guide us through the equinox, may you find balance in your own life between action and rest, shadow and light, reason and intuition. Work with your crystals, pull your justice card from the Modern Witch Tarot or whatever deck that you like to use, and maybe even try your hand at some pendulum magic to navigate life's little indecisions, because balance isn't about being perfect. It's about dancing gracefully between opposites, and that, my friends, is the essence of the witch's path. Until next time, blessed Libra season and blessed be. Bye! Cheers! Thank you so much for jumping down the rabbit hole with me. If you connected with this episode in any way, I would love it if you could share it with a friend. Also, please tag me on social media. I'm at mystical.mama.ash or at Big Crystal Energy Podcast, mostly on Instagram. It helps so much getting my episodes out there and finding more magical, kooky, and spooky friends. Sending you all Big Crystal Energy. Cheers!